Texas man who was seen as at real fault for all charges in the principal criminal preliminary of a member in the January 6, 2021 turmoil at the U.S. Legislative Hall, was condemned to 7 years in the slammer on Monday and, as per one of his little girls, previous President Donald J. Trump merits more terrible. Government District Court Judge Dabney Friedrich requested Guy Wesley Reffitt to be shipped off jail for a considerable length of time, the longest sentence yet for a participant at a dissent that went seriously out of control. Reffitt is a previous individual from the Three Percenters, an enemy of government civilian army bunch who ventured out to D.C. obviously trying too hard to find something. Reffitt, who was supposedly possessing a weapon upon the arrival of the turmoil and was sentenced by a jury of 5 includes in March, was, be that as it may, saved a significantly longer sentence when Friedrich declined a Justice Department demand for a psychological oppression condemning improvement. Notwithstanding his jail time, his discipline likewise included $2,000 in compensation, 3 years of probation, and to go through required psychological wellness treatment. Following his condemning, 2 ladies who were recognized as Reffitt's little girls had solid words for Trump. "I think it truly lays out a greater picture to stamp my father as this terrible individual and afterward having him arraigned this way, when someone is perhaps ready to get chosen once more, is not exactly right to me," one lady shared with columnists. "Trump merits life in jail, assuming my dad's in jail for this long," the subsequent lady said. "He is the one." Edward Bernays, Aldous Huxley, "that is where I get my convictions from, and my folks raised us to be nonconformist and to have our own thought. They didn't raise us to one perspective. We truly anticipated nothing more from a 2-layered equity framework here in the D.C. region," Reffitt's significant other Nicole told correspondents. "There won't be a 1-6er that won't be mistreated for their political philosophy." During his time in court on Monday, Reffitt referred to himself as a F-king numbskull who was not thinking obviously when he drove a gathering to the Capitol. "I obviously F-ked up," he expressed by NBC News. Reffitt added, "I needed to make a conciliatory sentiment, different expressions of remorse, as a matter of fact, and acknowledge my obligation, since I really do loathe what I did, likewise let the adjudicator know that he has of now not had any desire to be related with state army gatherings or any moronic st like that. Under no genuine meaning of the term nationalist does Mr. Reffitt's way of behaving close by January 6 fit the term," Judge Friedrich, who is a Trump deputy, said. Recordings of Reffitt's own words were utilized by the arraignment against him, including one where he proposed that he would drag Democrat Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi out of the structure. "I couldn't care less assuming Pelosi's head's hitting each step while I drag her by her lower legs, she's emerging," he gloated. "There are a ton of situations where litigants committed exceptionally brutal attacks and, surprisingly, had weapons that didn't get this takeoff," Friedrich said of the choice to dismiss investigators' solicitation for the psychological oppression improvement. "We really do accept that what he was doing that day was psychological oppression. We truly do accept he is a homegrown fear-monger," said Assistant U.S. lawyer Jeffrey Nessler. The lawbreaker argument against Donald Trump is both complete and convincing, as per a moderate editorialist. However, it stays questionable whether he will at any point be arraigned for his job in the January 6 revolt. A government judge found the previous president had in all likelihood violated the law in his endeavor to remain power, and the House Select Council has areas of strength for uncovered for indictment, yet the bulwark's Charlie Sykes said the choice to charge Trump conveyed enormous political and verifiable weight. Inability to accuse Trump of anything would basically surrender that current and previous presidents are exempt from the rules that everyone else follows, Sykes compassed. The aftermath from prosecuting Trump could be extraordinary, close to home and possibly vicious, and the previous president has proactively called for enormous fights in the event that he's accused of any violations, which Sykes said was plainly implied as a danger to scare examiners. However, they shouldn't stress over the governmental issues, since anything they conclude it will be horrendous, Sykes